3AP.
What's up everyone? Mark here from Jenson USA to bring you another amazing, fantastic, awesome video, as we always do here. With this video, we're gonna go over 7 things you should know before you upgrade your bike wheels. So let's get into it. All right, let's get into the first point here. Wheel size. We have 3 basic size options on wheels currently right now. We have the 26, which is typically trending more to the obsolete. It's not being produced as much. So if you're running a 26, get rid of it. Let's go 27.5 at least, if not higher. Now let's move on to 27.5. Now this is a super popular wheel because we know that it offers you the playful feel to get out there, you're sending jumps, hitting those tight corners. It's a great wheel. Like this one right here, right? So with the 27.5, you're gonna get a little bit more control of the bike. You're gonna pop it more, you're gonna get out there and you're really gonna feel everything that you're doing. All right, and moving on into the 29. Now we're seeing a lot more popularity with a 29-inch wheel, but we get some really cool stuff with the 29. Due to its size, we're getting better rollover. You're gonna be able to crush over those rocks. It's gonna help you go faster, get up those climbs, but that comes at a little bit of a detriment. And that detriment being that you're gonna be able to turn a little bit slower. You might not feel as much as you want. The pop might be a little less. So you're gonna start having to weigh your options. And lastly, let's get into the fun one. We call this the MX or the Mullet. And this is running a 27.5 in the back and a 29 in the front. And as you've probably heard the term mullet, it's got business up front, you got the 29 up front, it's rolling everywhere you need to go, it's taking you through your work day, but then you still got the 27.5 in the back for all the party. You're still getting squirrely, you're hitting your turns, and you're getting poppy, right? We're seeing a lot more brands and the top brands out there trending towards creating bikes made for this. A lot of bike companies are creating ways in which you can transform your current bike into an MX or a Mullet build, and this is fantastic. Super cool option to consider. All right, so let's move into our next point, and this is rim material, which is broken down into 2 general categories. We have aluminum, and we have carbon. With aluminum, the top thing you should consider is that it's dampening. It's going to absorb a lot of that feel through the aluminum material. Next, we have carbon, which is, most everyone knows, first and foremost, is more expensive. But you're getting that straighter, more direct type of material. When you see a line, you put that tire on the line, you're gonna shoot that line. When we're thinking about durability with both of these type of rim materials, let's look at aluminum as being something that, although it's more prone to dents, bangs, and all that, it can be fixed trail side when you're out there on the ride to keep you going. If you're one of those riders that's out there doing long rides, you don't want to get stuck somewhere, most stuff can be done with that. It's great. On the other perspective, there's carbon. Carbon is a much more stiff and durable wheel, but when something happens, it happens. So you're gonna have to figure out a way to get out. It's kind of like Shark Week, right? Nothing's going on. Boom, your wheel breaks. Just a point to consider. Moving into weight. Big feature we're talking about here, right? Less weight equals faster on your bike, but maybe not always the case. It's always important to consider these. We know that carbon is always gonna be lighter, right? Aluminum is gonna come with a little bit more weight, but like we talked about with durability, these are things that you kind of have to start weighing your options. Get it? Weighing your options. And with that weight, let's make sure that we always remember that most of the weight is coming from your hubs and your spokes, which we'll get into later. All right, let's get into the bread and butter, cost. This is typically the hold off for a lot of us as we have to weigh our costs and how we're upgrading our bike. Well, when it comes to wheels, we know that carbon is going to be most of the time more expensive than aluminum. But with that comes less maintenance. A lot of carbon wheels have great warranties from top brands. With aluminum, you're getting a lot more durability. And if maybe you're looking to get into racing, it's going to be an easier fix. You're going to be able to get a backup set of wheels and everything else. All right, let's move into rim height and rim width. Primarily, the important factor here is the width of your rim. The wider the rim, the less likely you're gonna get sidewall rollover. When you're crushing on that turn, the last thing you wanna worry about is popping your bead off the tire or sliding out and taking a face full of dirt. So with the most popular enduro wheels out there, we're getting a minimum of 30 millimeters internal width. Important things to consider. And to touch quickly on rim height, just keep in mind, the taller the rim, the more aerodynamic it will be. This primarily being an importance for all you roadies out there. Moving into another aspect of the wheel, let's look at spoke type, with primarily being two options, the J-bend and the straight. The J-bend, while typically easier to find and a lot easier when you're trying to replace ones that you've broken, they are prone to breaking more. The other option being straight pull. These are a little bit easier to install, but if it makes sense to you, a little bit harder to finalize and get that wheel trued and ready to shred on the trail. Now, based on your rim material, it may help aid your decision on the spoke count you want for your wheel. With a carbon wheel, you're gonna have a lot more stiffness already just in that material, so you might not want your typical 32 spoke count. Now, most carbon wheels typically come with a 28 spoke count, and this again, like I just said, is based on stiffness, right? You wanna find the perfect ride feel, whereas on your aluminum material, you're more likely to find the 32 spoke count. This is to create a little bit more stiffness and durability because of the dampening of the aluminum material. All right, now let's move into your FREEHUB style. This is an important thing to know when you're buying a new wheel or upgrading your wheel because it has to match your cassette. With Shimano, we have both the HG Hyperglide and the Micro Spline. And SRAM has two options. They have the XD and the XDR, the XDR being for road options. All right, now let's move in to the sound of bees. I'm just kidding. Let's get into hub engagement. These are the parts within your hub that when you're pushing down on the pedal, it's giving you engagement and driving the wheel. The first option to consider is the DT Swiss, which we have right here. With the DT Swiss, it comes stock with an 18-tooth ratchet, which offers 20 degrees of play before engagement on the wheel. A really cool thing you can do with the DT Swiss is you can upgrade in here within the ratchet to a 54 tooth and offers you, instead of the 20 degrees, a 6.7 degree play before you're getting engagement. Now the next up in the option is we can consider the race face vault. Now with the race face vault, we're getting 120 points of engagement. Now with 120 points of engagement, we're only getting 3 degrees of play before that pedal and the engagement within the wheel come together. Pretty good when you're getting there. Lastly, this is the i9 Hydra, or the Industry 9 Hydra. With this hub, you're getting 690 points of engagement. That's 0.52 degrees of play between your pedal and getting that wheel into motion. This is super important if you're trying to get climbing and you don't want any loss of inertia or momentum. Now you might be asking yourself, what do points of engagement mean for me and how does this affect my riding? Well, it really depends on the style of riding and what you're trying to achieve. If you're out there and you're doing really technical climbs or technical features, having a lot of points of engagement keeps those pedals responsive and those wheels responsive to everything you're doing. They're gonna help with your balance and get you up and over all of those features. Now, a con of lots of points of engagement, which is the possibility that your rolling speed is reduced. As that wheel is spinning, every one of those teeth and points of engagement is taking away the inertia of the overall roll. So if you're looking to just go really fast and fly down hills, maybe a less point of engagement wheel is the option for you.
It seems like it rolls pretty well though.
And on to the 7th point, which is a final point, is wheel spacing. Now, most importantly, before we get into any details, it's understanding the very bike specific, what size is the wheel spacing? Is it non-boost, is it boost, or is it super boost? This is something you're gonna need to look up for before you go and buy that or upgrade that new wheel. Now with wheel spacing, let's understand that the further out the hub flanges are, the more stiffness of the wheel you're going to get. And the more stiffness within your wheel, the more overall rear stiffness you're gonna get in the bike. So this comes down to the feel of your bike as well as strength and durability. With the larger spacing, you're gonna get the option to have a larger tire clearance as well as more clearance for mud to come through that rear end of the frame. And to wrap up the 7 points of things you need to consider before upgrading your wheels, number 1 being, what size wheel are you running or what size wheel are you currently looking to run? Also, what kind of rim material are you looking at? Do you want aluminum or do you want carbon? What's the rim width or the rim height that you're going that's gonna match the style in which you're trying to ride, as well as what kind of spokes you're looking to run and the spoke count based on what we've talked about before. Also, make sure to match up the FREEHUB, right? The FREEHUB has to match the cassette brand so that way everything clashes and runs perfectly together, as well as hub engagement. What are you riding? Are you riding more technical? Are you looking for that immediate engagement? And lastly, make sure you match the wheel spacing to your bike specific option, whether that's boost, non-boost, or super boost. Well, we hope you love watching this video and we love making them. So leave us a comment below on maybe another topic you want to see us cover. Make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we here at Jenson love seeing you out there riding all your bikes and shredding the trails. So make sure you follow us on our social channels at Jenson USA and tag us because we love to post you. And as always, keep pedaling. All right.
Crazy.